Shalom, shalom. In today's video, I will be revealing an even deeper level of the previous video. In the previous video, we learned the secret of circumcision, being the secret of the 8th day, which of course we learned was Bina. And we learned 7 days under the mother. On the 8th day, fire offering to Hashem. We also learned that this is circumcision. Now, we learned in that video the secret of a day, and that this alludes to Zeranpin, who's called a day. Zeranpin's partsuf contains exactly 6 Sephirot, and 6 times 7 is 42. In the secret of the 42-letter name being associated with Ima. So with that being said, we're going to address the Zohar. In the Zohar, we find in Pikudei, in book 13, on page 155, regarding the Urim, it is written, "And you shall put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim." And here is the Urim in Hebrew. We see on the next page it says, "And the Tumim," Shemot 28:30. It was explained that the meaning of Urim, which means lights, plural, is that they illuminate in the secret of the shining mirror, namely Zeranpin. So we have an association between Urim and the shining mirror. And this is the engraving of the letters of the holy name in the secret of 42, with which the worlds were created. The letters were sunken into it. This is what we will be analyzing. So here we find that the Urim, which is now the letters of 42, is associated with the shining mirror, and here, namely, Zeranpin. So now we're going to reference Sefer Yira. For those who do not have a copy of it, I will leave a link in the description below so that you can obtain a copy of it. Towards the back of Sefer Yira, we'll find a section regarding the 42-letter name. And it was explained that it is in the secret of the shining mirror. This means that the 42 letters are divided in the secret of the shining mirror, which is Zeranpin, mainly 7 Sephirot. So, the Anabakoach, which is the 42-letter name, can be found in book Aleph of the Zohar, and is attributed to Rabbi Nehaniah ben Hakana, and is found in a section called, "And the earth was without form." And here we can find the Anabakoach. And by taking the very first letter of each word, it creates the 42-letter name. We have now added a deeper level, and we now know that the 42-letter name is divided in the secret of Zeranpin, in the secret of these Sephirot. Now, we discussed earlier 7 days under the mother, and we discussed how this was an allusion to the 42-letter name, because there's 7 days, and the day is the Zeranpin partsuf, which is 6. So 7 times 6 equals 42. We learned in the Zohar in section Pikudei that the 42-letter name, which is the Urim, it says the letters were sunken into it. This means that they descended. And the 42-letter name is the secret of the Seraphim. To find these Seraphim, we will resort to a work by a disciple of the Arizal. And that, of course, is the work Emek Hamalek. And in Emek Hamalek, in gate 11, we find a list here of the Seraphim. It identifies it explicitly, HaSeraphim. And here we find a list of these angels, one to each of the letters of the 42-letter name of Hashem. And these letters sunk which means that they descended. This is the secret of the Urim going into the breastplate of judgment, because the Urim is in the aspect of Bina, which are the Seraphim, and the breastplate of judgment is the secret of Yetzirah, which means that these angels are descending from Berea to Yetzirah. In Sefer Yira, you will find a list of these 42 Seraphim, and you will also find a list of the 42 Ophanim, which are the backsides of the respective partsuf. And these are angels of judgment. And so I'll read to you what it says here. Now let us continue on to the 42 angels of the 42-letter name. The 42-letter name formed from the secret of the Anabekoach, which is found in Book 1 of the Zohar and attributed to Rabbi Nehaniah ben Hakana. The 42-letter name is compiled by taking the first letter of each name and combining them into the 42 name. It is divided into 7 sets of 6 letters, which reflect the order of 7 Sephirot. And we now know that 6 is the secret of Zerahinpin. An example, Shetani, Gavor, etc., etc. And here is the 42-letter name of God, as revealed from the aspect of Seraphim, and this is their order and placement, each according to one letter of the 42 name. These angels are judgment angels, and are the secret of Elisha, using the 42-letter name of God to kill 42 children. The name being Ima, Aleph Mem Aleph, mother, which totals 42, 1 angel per child and vessel. They came as 2 she-bears, because Ima comes with Abba in the secret of the side partsufim. Thus, in the rage of the side partsuf, in the secret of the mouth, 42 souls were collected by 42 angels. And a child is Zerahinpin, which are the vessels. And these are Kali eaters, and they are judgment angels, which guard the way. And so, this is a book that was compiled by a disciple of mine. And in this work he has done, he has recorded these angels, both the fronts and the backs of each Sephiroth. And these are the 7 days, because a day is Zerahinpin's partsuf, and we now know that there's an angel to each one. And so here is the face of Chesed, the back of Chesed, face of Gevura, back of Gevura, face of Tiferes, back of Tiferes, face of Netzach, back of Netzach, face of Hod, back of Hod, face of Yisod, back of Yisod, face of Malkuth, back of Malkuth. And so it's important to note that there are 42 angels of Seraphim and 42 Ophanim. The 42 Seraphim are the faces of each Sephirot, and the 42 Ophanim are the backs of each Sephirot. And together, this creates 84, and 1 for each total is 86. This is the value of Elohim, and the secret of me and Ele, as in me wrapped itself in Ele, in these, which we know are angels. And so in the Zohar, we learned that this Urim is called lights, and these 42 letters sunk. We now know that these are 42 angels. So moving along, we can see originally where the 7 sparks came, and the Urim, or the lights, entered the high priest's breastplate. And that high priest's breastplate here is Yetzirah. And here we can find the 7 days under the mother. And a day is the partsufim of Zerahinpin, and each segment of the Anabekoach has 6 letters, which now are 6 angels. And these are the lights, called Urim. "7 days under the mother, on the 8th day of fire offering to the Lord. On the 8th day it will be circumcised." Shalom, Selah.